Hi, I'm Carl from Hilltop Arms. Our regular customers know that we specialize in concealed carry, home defense, training, and of course we have a range. But we are also a Type 7 manufacturer, and we are legally allowed to manufacture ARs and other firearms. We always look for interesting and new products, and we came across the DigiTrigger. This is a product, it's a digital trigger that is fairly unique. This is the 2.2 model, and that gives us the capability of having both a standard AR trigger, which pulls at about 5.5 to 7 pounds, but in another mode, it allows it to drop to a 1 pound digital trigger. That is going to make the firearm very, very accurate. There's another mode that also allows it to become a binary trigger, and that means that when you pull the trigger once, it's going to fire, and when you release it, it also fires. That is also under that 1 pound trigger with a fairly short reset, and that is just a lot of fun at the range. This is a gun that we have in our range program, and it is in 9mm. This will be available for customers to come in and try out, and I'm going to go over some of the features with you. So very first thing, I am going to show that it is clear. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the firearm so there's nothing in the chamber. The standard selector in the safe position, the trigger is going to be dead. It will not be able to fire. If you put the trigger into the normal fire mode, it is a fairly crisp, about 5.5 to 7 pounds, somewhere in that area. If you reset it and go into the the digital mode, that allows it to become a very light 1 pound trigger. Now we've tested this and it comes in almost exactly at 1 pound. You hear that click, that also means that it would have fired on the release as well. The installation of this was not overly difficult, but we highly recommend that if you are picking one of these up, and we do have them, that you allow a skilled armorer to install it. Robert has been our builder for 15 years, and he made a relatively easy install out of it. I am not quite as skilled as Robert, and it took me somewhat longer to get the install, but I was able to do it myself. So we're going to go ahead and show you some of the modes that this can run in, and hopefully you will enjoy it. Here is the 9mm that we have in the range program. I'm going to go ahead and fire it through all the modes that it can support. So the very first one is I'm going to put it on fire. I'm going to go ahead and fire a couple with the standard trigger. Then I'm going to go and throw it to the third position. I'm going to fire a couple rounds like that. Then I'm going to convert it to the binary mode, and we'll just see how it performs for us. 33 round mag. And coming off safe, going into the first position. Now I'm going to go to the third position. That'll be the 1 pound trigger. Much lighter. And now I'm going to go into the binary mode. Put it on safe. I'm going to go ahead and then put it into binary, and then I'm going to go back to the third position. Oh, I can also abort the binary by either not gripping the grip tightly or by throwing it into the fire position. So that works very well. And now we're going to go ahead and show you it with the 5.56. Here we have one of the higher end builds that we made with the DigiTrigger 2.2. This is more or less what I think the advantage of the 1 pound trigger is going to be on a gun like this, where accuracy can be expected out past to 300 yards. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate again the modes of the DigiTrigger 2.2, and we'll go from there. Right now it is currently in its clear state, and then I'm going to go ahead and fire some rounds in all the modes. So, insert the magazine, release the bolt. We are currently in safe. Switching over to standard AR trigger. And then from there, I'll switch to the digital trigger, which is 1 pound fire on pull, no second shot on release. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip it back to safe, and then go ahead and switch the controls to pull and release. I could have done this without switching to safe, but since I'm demonstrating it in the range, I figure safe rather safe than sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and back to standard, back to the third position. So this should be binary pull and release. I'm holding it so that it won't fire. If I release it, it won't fire again, it will time out. It's obviously very easy to go very quickly with this, but for demonstration purposes, I think that'll suffice. So now you've seen the modes that this can operate in, I'm going to go ahead and show one other test that we did with it that worked out very well. So we put the CMMG 22 caliber conversion into the AR, and we weren't 100% sure how that was going to work, but the results were nothing short of spectacular. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that now. I'm just going to go ahead and use this in the binary mode since you've already seen the other positions, and here we go. That was 25 rounds. So we do stock the DigiTrigger, and if you'd like to see it, come in and we'll be glad to go over it with you. And again, thank you very much.